All right, Sandy, here it is. We're recording our first ever podcast.
Trying something new.
Oh my goodness. We've been talking about this for about a year and a half.
We have.
And we finally decided to sit down and take this seriously.
And it's 7:30 at night. We just dropped the kids off at grandma's and I go, we're getting it done. I don't care if it's midnight. We're getting a podcast done right now.
So we might be getting dark behind us, but we're in here doing it. So why do we want to start a podcast?
So, I think a podcast, and why we love podcasts, is it's like the real people, It's not a produced reel. It's not a long form video where, it's all edited together. It's just real. It's raw. You get to know what people's personalities are really like. And that's why I enjoy it, because I'm like, man, I didn't know they were so cool or so funny or so down to earth. And so I think you really get an insight into people through a podcast.
And what do you hope people take away from this podcast? That's a good question, huh?
I think with our channels alone, people have been inspired. They've learned about a different way to live life, whether it's an RV or traveling with kids. So whatever, extract any information, hope for yourself to do what we're doing, be inspired to try something new, whatever it may be. I hope get something out of it. I don't know.
All right, so since this is our first ever podcast, we're going to run through our story on what it took to get to where we're at today.
Who is trying something new? What the heck is trying something new?
What
is it about? Why are we called Trying Something New? Why did we even start this journey? This is going to be the episode for all of that.
All right, so let's get into it. Let's start with the name, Trying Something New. That's a great thing to start with.
All right.
So, Sandy, kick it off. Why do we pick the name Trying Something New?
Okay, this is a rewind. I don't even know how many years ago. 7 years ago, 8, 9 years ago.
For what, the film business?
For the name. No, the Trying Something New name. Okay. We had a film production company. It was actually called Something New Films. That started in 2010. So 2010, 15 years ago, we started a film company with zero experience of anything about how to shoot video, anything.
Didn't know how to edit, didn't know how to shoot, didn't know how to do...
Blind ambition, baby. And so we started this film company because we had our first daughter. We had Nixon. And Jimmy was a restaurant manager at Nobu in Vegas. And he would leave every day at 4 o'clock to go to work. And I had just had Nixon, first time mom, and she was colicky. So she would just cry every night and I'm like, oh my God. And he was gone. And so I'm like, babe, you know what? This restaurant gig is just not working anymore for our family, for our new family. And so we had to come up with, what are we going to do then? I was doing real estate and we had to figure some stuff out. Long story short, we'll get into that in another episode, but we started a film company.
And the film company's name was Something New Films.
Because we started shooting weddings and, something borrowed, something blue, something new. One of our friends, John, who was actually part of the company back then, came up with that and we were like, that's it. So fast forward a few years later, we were filming a wedding in South Africa. And at this time, we did have a YouTube channel where we put up a couple of videos here and there from traveling with the kids. Just for fun. And so we were in South Africa filming this wedding. We went to Cape Town to do some cage diving with great white sharks. And while we're there, we're like, let's get a tattoo. And we're like, well, what should we get? And so a spin-off from our film company, we were like, what should we call our YouTube channel? And it was, we like trying new things. And it was just, after like a conversation, we came up with Try Something New.
Yeah, so it was a spinoff of Something New Films. Now we're going to transition that into Trying Something New.
Because while we were in Africa, we went cage diving, we went sandboarding, we were getting a tattoo. So it was all new things. So it was very fitting. Yeah. And we love new things. So.
And we thought it would fit the brand for the longevity of the brand because we could always be out there trying something new. So that's how we came up with the name Trying Something New. It was a spinoff of our film company called Something New Films.
And mine, all I have left is something. Because
mine's still pretty good there.
Well, you had yours redone, so that's not fair. But I had Try and New was in pink, in organic pink, and she's like, it doesn't really stay. And I'm like, that's fine, I got a lot of pink over here. Well, it didn't stay. So now I have something and a happy face. And so many times, like I'll be at the cash register checking out of the supermarket, and someone will go, excuse me, I have a weird question, but why do you have something and a smiley face tattooed on your arm? And I'm like, long story.
Yeah, don't worry about it. There's a space in there somewhere. All right, so that's a little brief introduction on where we're at, where we came from, how we got the name. So let's get into a little bit of our story. So were we always living in an RV, or did we have a regular sticks and bricks house and a life? And we call it sedentary life or just the
it's
regular
like pre-RV life.
Pre-RV life. So give me a little brief explanation of what life was like before we made that first transition into the RV.
All right. Now, before the RV, we hardly ever have actually like traveled anywhere in an RV. So it's not like we had any experience when I was younger. We never did any camping, tent camping, RV, nothing. So I had zero experience prior. Same for you.
Yeah, I mean, we did a little bit of camping on the weekends,
You
but
did some
like
camping.
we weren't like camping is in our blood.
Yeah,
you know,
so like we see a lot of people who are like, oh, I used to do this with my parents and grandparents, and they've been doing it for years. That was not our story. So to rewind, we were living in Las Vegas, in Henderson actually, in Vegas. And we just thought we had everything going on. We had a successful film business. We started having all of our kids.
We were in the
had
best
a nice
neighborhood.
house. Yeah, like
with the best school.
everything on paper looked like that. Like you guys are successful. And at the time, 2 of our girls were in elementary school, and Ryder was in like a private preschool. And it was. I always tell people, I go, it was like everybody has a mask on. Like you go to the school to drop the kids off and everybody's just doing their thing. And I was miserable. It wasn't easy to get in this parking lot for this school. Everything was difficult about it. Picking up the kids from school was challenging. Like Nixon would have a meltdown, and which I found out later. It was like she was just bottling everything up all day. And when I would pick her up, she would just like
let it out.
And I'm like, it was the wrath, every day when I picked her up from school. So it was just like everything was fine. Like for most families, it was just a regular life.
It was what it was supposed to be. It was what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, we weren't missing anything. Like we had everything we wanted, right? But the inside was where something was missing, and I was like, God, like this is just. I don't know. I'm bored. Like I'm bored with life.
Yeah, we were feeling unfulfilled. I think.
It was just empty. Like there was a void. So me and Jimmy traveled before we had kids, and we did a little traveling to California and stuff, like with the kids, like road trips and stuff. But I think we realized like there's something bigger missing, and it was the element of adventure and travel and showing the kids places, experiences. That's got the ball rolling for, okay, we acknowledge there's something going on. We realize that we're bored in life. We're bored with just sedentary living. And then that's when everything started to change.
So there was an experience that we decided to take. We went to Thailand one year. Christmas was coming, and we didn't want to do the typical Christmas extravaganza that we did every year and spend
all the gifts under the tree,
thousands of dollars in Christmas time and all that stuff. So we decided to go to Thailand and take the money that we would have spent on Christmas and spend 2 weeks in Thailand exploring Thailand, because we just love that idea of being in Southeast Asia. So we did it. One year we bought a ticket into Thailand. We got there on December 20th, I think it was. And we, went all through Thailand. We ended up being on Phi Phi Island for Christmas morning. We woke up. We got a long-tail boat that pulled up at 8 in the morning on Christmas morning. And it was like $35 for the day. The kids woke up. We gave them each a snorkel mask and $20. And they had the best time ever. It was one of our core memories that still gives me goosebumps today talking about it. Yeah. And it was just such a beautiful, wonderful, lovely experience. And we say we're going to do it every year again, but we haven't done it in a while. So that was really the one spark that just lit us on fire of the international travel idea. Yep. So right when we came back from Thailand, there was another thing called the World School Family Summit. Is that what it was?
The Project World School.
Project World School Family Summit in Mexico. And it was a whole bunch of people that traveled full time and lived around the world and were, nomads before that was a thing. And there was a summit happening down in Mexico, so we decided we got to go check this thing out. This is going to be amazing.
It was a mixture of like OGs, people that have been, shout out to Clementine, a bunch of families that have been doing that for a while, and their kids grew up like that. Kids have never been in school, only world schooling. And then there was a bunch of newbies like us that were like eyes open, sponges, ready to learn and listen and be like, are these people crazy or do we need to do this right now?
Yeah. So we came back from that and we're like, all right, our interest had been sparked enough to go, this is the key element that Sandy talked about earlier that we were probably missing. And so we're like, this is the thing we've been missing. We need adventure, travel, and experiences in our lives more than like building this massive house of stuff that we don't even go in half the rooms anyway. But the thing that really sealed the deal for us wanting to travel and go have a nomadic lifestyle was we got hired to do a job in France where we went out and filmed a family and created a little YouTube channel trailer for their channel. And we spent 2 weeks with them out in France. And what they did was they lived 1 year at a time in a different country. And we spent some time with them, saw what they were doing, and we're like, oh my goodness, this is definitely what we need to be doing.
Yeah.
So we came home from that experience. Sandy got on this
Facebook page,
World Schooling Facebook page, and she was just lit on fire. She's like, that's it. This is what we're doing.
Well, you know, I had so much FOMO because I'm scrolling, looking at what all of these families are doing, traveling around the world, living over here, living over there. And they were immersed in another culture, like the food, the languages, like everything. And I'm going, and I'm sitting in this house. We're sitting in this house. I'm having a nightmare situation every single morning, going to the school parking lot that I don't know why they made it so difficult for us parents to get in there, but it was. Yeah. And so I'm like, you can lose all of that stress by living like a really awesome life. And so, yeah, I was sold.
All right. So then we had to figure out how to pull this thing off. And the RV for us was the gateway to get out of the house and get into this nomadic travel lifestyle and freedom, so to speak. So I was on the computer a lot, editing all the videos that we had to get out for our production company, and I would always have Gone with the Wind's playing in the background. And they were
Nikki and Jason, we love you.
They were an RV couple that was kind of doing this before anybody was doing this, and documenting their adventures and stuff like that. And I'm just sitting there daydreaming. I'm like, someday this is gonna be us. Someday this is gonna be us.
So if you're ever sitting there daydreaming, it could be you too.
Yeah, I mean, it gets me a little bit emotional just talking about that because it's like, damn, that was a dream at one point, and here we are. Sitting in our dream RV.
Over 9 years later.
Yeah, 9 years later, and we're doing it, you know? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
It is crazy.
All right, so that gets us to the next phase. So the first phase, I feel like, was just getting out of the house into the RV.
It was a lot of exploration into, well, I think taking the leap and pushing the boundaries and doing something that, for us, over 9 years ago, not many people were doing this. Our parents thought we were kind of crazy. Our friends were like, you're going to do what? So it was a lot of the unknown because there wasn't a lot of people doing it. So we didn't have all of these friends to ask or like, hey, how'd you do that? Or how'd you do that? There was like nobody.
So this is 2016, guys, 2016.
I remember there was another family that I don't think they were living in it fully, but they had it decked out like to live in. And I remember calling her and I go, Josie. I remember calling her and I go, hey, this is going to be a really weird question, but would you mind if I come and check out your RV and just like open the cabinets and see how you have things situated? Because I just can't picture it. Yeah. Like I couldn't picture it. How you put your whole life into this small space. And so she was like, yeah, of course. So we went over there. I remember I was like, I had butterflies.
It's so funny.
And I felt weird, but I'm like, I just have to look around and see how you like did things here. And then I realized, like I had all of these like hang-ups for whatever reason. I don't even know really what for. But once I saw with my own eyes, I go, this is so easy.
There's nothing to this. Nothing to this.
I don't even care about most of the crap in the house. Yeah. Like, why would I care to downsize and then just have the stuff that you need in here? It's actually way easier to clean, way easier to manage, and life just became more simplified.
And since we do have a YouTube channel, guys, all this stuff is documented on our YouTube channel. We will put a couple of links in the description down below to reference some of these videos.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Right.
Because there was some ugly.
Yeah, we documented the whole process of moving out of the house, what that looked like, moving into the RV for the first time. The RV was packed up, with 4 feet of stuff all the way through it. So we had no room to even walk. We were walking on all our stuff.
The night that we loaded in and we were like, that's it. We are leaving the house. We're pulling away. And we had a lot of stuff still. We thought we downsized to like very bare minimum. But when we put it into the RV, the floor was covered that we literally were walking on stuff. Because we hadn't found a place for it yet. Yeah. It was pretty funny.
Let's talk about the transition out of the house into the RV. So we started in around Thanksgiving, and we gave ourselves till January 1st to be out of the house. Mm-hmm. And so
we're very fast movers and not planners. So super spontaneous. Most people probably would not do it the way that we did it, but we were like, screw it.
Yeah, we got to set a date.
Screw it, let's go.
I had a mentor back in the day, Marshall Silver, and he's like, anything you want to accomplish, you got to set a date. You got to set a date.
You know what? Screw it, just do it.
Screw it, just do it.
I love that. Screw it, just do it.
Sounds like a t-shirt idea.
I think so.
So we set a date, and then we started having garage sales, getting rid of all the stuff. And, I
realized that we are not garage sale people. I'd rather give it away than to sit there all day and haggle with people over $1.
Like, our return on investment right here, I mean,
I know,
besides buying the stuff, but just like putting up the signs the night before, I don't know.
It's a lot of work.
Sitting there all day just to get haggled for
garage sale people, hats off to you because
from $5 to $4 for like your prized possessions.
Built for that.
So we had a couple garage sales. It wasn't our thing. We got rid of, pretty much, I would say 70% of our stuff at the garage sales. But then we still have all this stuff sitting around the house. We had a garage full of stuff that we weren't going to bring with us. And so, we're getting down to the wire the last 2 weeks, and we just start making runs to Goodwill. Anybody want this stuff? All the people that came to the garage sale, just come back and get it because we don't even want this stuff anymore.
I know. Then you're like, why do we even do the garage sale? Just say it's free.
Yeah,
just take it so I don't have to do anything with it now.
Yeah. So we finally got out of the house, got into the RV. And we do a lot of meditation, visualization, and they always say, go back to one of the defining moments in your life, one of your happiest moments in your life. And for me, I always visualize us sitting in our driveway, outside of our house. It's dark out. It's about 10:30 at night. We're all exhausted. The kids are tiny. And I pulled out the camera and we did a little sound bite on how we were all feeling and checked in. And that's actually in one of our videos too. But to have that moment, I always tell people, when you leave the house, just take a second when you get in the RV or whatever you're doing, just take a second and just cherish that moment because that only happens once in a lifetime.
Or until yeah.
That moment of from
the house to the RV. I think that was the biggest thing for me was I had no idea how much freedom we would gain by getting rid of all the stuff. And the house and not being locked into sedentary living anymore. I had no idea. It's like you don't know until you do it. Yeah. And I was like, oh, because Jimmy's the one that brought up the whole RV life idea.
Let's go.
And I loved it, but I was like, oh, the what ifs. I had so many what ifs floating around my head that I wasn't fully sold on it. So then once we did it and I'm like, oh, it was like the chains were broke. I broke out of all the chains that were holding us down. And I went, damn, why didn't you mention this sooner?
So we're going to get into what our first year was like here in just a second. But I just want to rewind just for a moment and tell you about a scenario or a situation that really propelled us in the right direction. And that was, I followed another family called Bumfuzzle. Mm-hmm. And they were some serious nomads. They've been doing it for 10 years. Great documentation of all of their adventures. They did a bus, an RV, a boat, a car. They've done everything with their family. And I was following them, and I saw they were coming back through Las Vegas on their way up west or up north or something like that. And I just reached out, and I said, hey, man, I really love following you guys following along your journey. If possible, when you guys come through Vegas, maybe we can meet up for a minute and just say hi and hang out. And he goes, we're going to be staying at the dry lake bed. Why don't you guys meet us out there and we'll just spend a night together and have some discussions. And so we did that. We went out to the dry lake bed. We met up with Patrick and his family, and we're sitting there around a campfire and we're just drilling them with 100 questions. They're just laughing.
It was mainly me. I had a lot of questions.
Yeah, they're just laughing. They're like, dude. And so Sandy, why don't you say that one thing that really stood out to us?
Well, the one thing that was the light switch for me, because you were already there, I was like, so what about this and what about that? And he wasn't laughing at my questions, but he probably saw this girl is doesn't understand how amazing this is. So the day that we were leaving, I said, hey, we just want to thank you. Was it at the campfire that he said it? Oh, okay, at the campfire. He goes, listen, your old life is going to be there. If you try it and you realize it's not for you, it didn't work out, you can always go back to your old life. And when he said that, I go, oh, I don't want my old life. I don't like that. And so I swear, I don't know why, the way he put it was so eloquent. Yeah. It was so simple that my brain that was over analyzing everything just calmed down. Yeah. And I go, that makes total sense.
So I'm actually going to reach out to Patrick and let him know that line changed the trajectory of our lives.
Changed me 100%.
That's pretty cool. That's a great story. I love that story. We actually have a video on that too, but I love the story of meeting up with Bumfuzzle and how they just like,
So I swear, I want you guys, if you're not doing this and you're interested in doing this life or anything that you're interested in doing, making a change, changing a job, whatever, changing your mate, your spouse, whatever. Always think like your old life is always there. And so you always have to have something to fall back on. But hey, try it, whatever it may be. And it may actually turn out to be something amazing like it has for us.
Try something new. You never know what can happen.
So, and everything always comes back to trying something new.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to the next topic here. And we're going to talk about like, what was our first, I would say year, but what was the first phase of our adventure look like? So we're sitting in the driveway. We pull away. We have no idea what it's going to look like. We knew where we were going to go. We just went to a local RV spot in Las Vegas.
Yep. Oasis RV Park.
Oasis RV Park. And it was just like, just get there. And then we got there and we just go, we took a deep breath, sigh of relief, and we were there. But what we did, why don't we talk about like, what did we do our first year to be able to travel around, working, going out and doing jobs in different locations around the country and using that as like travel?
So first off, this one little side note is one thing that we noticed in RV life. Like we pulled into that RV park. It was late at night, 11 o'clock at night. We got into our spot. And at this point, we hadn't done much RVing at all. We borrowed your mom's RV a couple of times, or one time, and we rented one time, just to know like this is what it's like to be in that small space. So I remember the next morning waking up, we're in this RV park, and we're like walking around, and everybody was just so friendly. Hi. And that is just not like that in a regular neighborhood.
We're like, what's going on here?
And so I couldn't believe, like, it was like Beaver Cleaver, neighborhood. Everybody was so friendly. Everybody was so nice. And I go, you know what? That became a joke. Are we going out into the world? Because when you go out into the world, it's not normal to be like, hi to everyone. It was so cool
refreshing.
That it was such a friendly environment. And I know in our house, we hardly knew our neighbors. You don't even, like, people drive home, garage door goes up, they go in, door down, you don't even see the people. And so, or at least in Vegas, that's how it was. And so it was, it's boring. Like, you don't know who your neighbors are, and you can't, it's not a close community. So the RV world is the complete opposite. Everybody knows each other for the most part. Everybody says hi.
Everybody's
It's a very warm feeling. So our first year. So our kids were still in school at the time. That we were going to let them finish out the school year. So this was February, and the kids were going to finish like May, early June. So we kind of lived in that RV park and launched out of there to do other little travels. But we still had our film jobs, so we would do those. The kids would go to school every day. But once the end of the year hit, of the school year, so it was May, June, then it was like, game on. Like, where do we want to go? Like, what are we going to do?
Yeah, so we used our wedding production business also as like a launch pad to go out and travel, because we had a wedding in the Redwood Forest of California. So that ended up being a 2 or 3 week trip. Mm-hmm. And then we booked a wedding in New York City. So that ended up being a cross-country trip. And while we were in New York City, after the wedding, Sandy's whole family is from there and lives there. So let's spend a month just touring around the East Coast and, get back to Vegas eventually. So that was how we were able to like launch out and still make money and adventure at the same time, and then come back to home base. And
so we were pretty lucky with our business because we were mobile. Like, we can shoot anywhere, we can get film jobs basically anywhere in the country. So that was cool because we can make money while traveling. But I think since COVID, like, anybody can have a remote job now.
For sure.
Like, there's so many opportunities. That wasn't, not possible back when we started. So it was a little harder for people.
We could barely get internet
to do it. Yeah,
at the RV parks.
That internet situation. But it was harder for people that didn't have something like we did, where you can actually work on the road. But now that is totally not the case. There's a million jobs that you can do while traveling that make it possible for pretty much anybody.
All right, so we're going to do something fun here. We're going to do a little rapid fire question. I got 7 questions here. We'll do 4 for Sandy, 3 for me, and we'll see what happens here. All right, so Sandy, what inspired you to become a full-time nomad and live in the RV?
I had to get out of the hamster wheel. I couldn't do the hamster wheel anymore. I wanted adventure. I wanted our kids to know what a travel life is like and always have new experiences.
All right, Sandy, what has been the most surprising aspect of living in an RV full-time?
Oh, that you can take your home everywhere with you. And I think for me, that's really cool because when we stay at hotels now, I'm like, this sucks. Like, you don't have any of your stuff, only what you pack, which you can't bring much. And so being able to bring our home everywhere is for me, I love it.
All right. Question number 3, how do you handle schooling and education while traveling with your children?
So what we do is unschooling. It's a mixture of homeschool and unschool where the kids are self-directed learners. And so they just follow what they're passionate about. But we also want to make sure they're doing sort of basic stuff as well. And so we do a little combo of all that.
All right. Last question for Sandy. What are your top tips for budgeting finances while on the road? That's a good one. That's a good one.
Well, we're not big budgeters.
Be honest.
And we're not big planners. So it's not like we're planning around how to save money. We're not doing that. It's a very low cost thing anyways. Like we have the 1,000 Trails membership. So a lot of this campground's free for 3 weeks. So it actually allows a lot more money for us to do fun stuff. So
yeah, we don't operate that way.
We don't really budget.
All right. So go to number 5 right there. We'll do 5, 6, and 7.
All right, Jimmy, you ready?
Let me get my voice ready.
Clear the throat. All right. Can you share a memorable travel story or experience that has shaped your journey?
All right, so here's a good one. We were in our first year, and we were somewhere in the Midwest, and we were coming up on some train tracks. And I was running parallel to these train tracks for about, I don't know, 12.
He missed a turn to get back on the highway. So that's how we ended up going parallel. And we're like, when can we get back over?
So I got to get over these train tracks to get back over the freeway. So I take this side road to go down these train tracks, and the train tracks like this, and it says, no RVs, do not cross, go back, turn around. But I had a car behind us, so I couldn't turn around that easy.
Yeah.
We had a tow vehicle. And so I'm like, screw it. I'm going to go for it.
So being the dude he is that doesn't want to follow the sign, he's like, I'm just going to turn. I'm like, babe, it says we can't do it. And so sure enough,
I go for it, and we get stuck on the train tracks. And there's a blind corner where a train could be coming around at any moment.
It's not like miles each way that you could see that headlight coming. It was a turn. So if that train's coming, it's right there.
Yeah, and our RV's right in the middle of the train tracks. So I had to get out. I had to unhook the car, which took about 5 minutes. I had to take off the bikes off the bike rack.
It felt like 10 years.
Yeah. I had to take all the bikes off, then I had to hook the tow dolly. And we finally got off the thing. All the locals came out and were laughing at us.
Well, the locals were walking by, and I'm just going like this. Yeah. I know. Yeah. He's a dumbass, and I'm with him.
Sandy's wearing a little mini skirt. It was like
it was hot, and
it was like a middle of Podunk nowhere.
The kids were so young. Ryder was like 3.
They're probably like, look at these white trash people coming out here. So it was so. The thing that I learned was trust the signs. Listen to the signs. Don't think I know it all.
All right.
Long
good
answer,
job.
but fun story.
All right, number 6. How do you find and choose your travel destinations?
We love 80-degree weather, so we just try to follow that. We love tropical, so we spend a lot of time in Florida. We love the Florida Keys, so we just want to be comfortable and have a good time.
We love to have our windows open, doors open. Yep. All right, last one. What are the biggest challenges you face as full-time nomads, and how do you overcome them?
The biggest challenges we face, that's an interesting one. We love each other. We get along amazingly. We love being in the RV.
All right, so I think I could add to that. Being around friends more often. We've built a community in this RV life, but during the summer, everybody goes to different areas. Most everybody comes back to Florida for the winter, and so our kids get to hang out with a lot of friends. They're always around other kids, but in the summer, it's a little more challenging. So I would say during the summer, it might be like the kids are like, I'm bored, and so we have to do a lot more stuff with them to make up for not many kids around.
That's a good one. So Sandy, if anybody's on the fence thinking about this lifestyle or I don't know, just a lot of people are already in this lifestyle that we know, but a lot of people aren't in this lifestyle. What would be some words of advice that you might give people about this lifestyle?
It's funny because I get DMs all the time, comments on our videos or actual emails where people go, you guys have inspired us. We're about to embark. We left our jobs and it's like in 2 weeks, we are hitting the road. And that always warms my heart because I know that feeling all so well, like it was yesterday, how exciting that is, but also nerve-wracking and there's so many unknowns, right? But I love to let people know, hey, you try it for a couple of months, try it for a year. You'll know quickly if this is for you or not for you. And the good news is your old life is always there waiting for you. So it's not like you have to start over and you have to figure things out again. Just go back into your old life, go back to your old neighborhood. Everything's familiar, you know it all. And so that takes a lot of the worry away, and a lot of the fear is, oh yeah, I could just sell the RV and move back into that neighborhood. Like, there's no friction. So this life is really amazing. Whether it's living in an RV, traveling around the world, Airbnb hopping to different cities or whatever countries.
Boat life.
Boat life, all of it. I mean, for us, that's where our souls are. We are true nomads. I can never imagine living in a house again and not being in a full constant state of travel. Like, even we sat in this RV park for 3 weeks. We're moving tomorrow. 3 weeks is sort of the max,
That's
right?
good, man. Like, everybody's like, I can't wait to get to a new place. There's new people, there's new excitement, there's new amenities, there's new locations.
Well, you're in a new area.
New area.
And so there's new opportunities.
It's exciting again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's really fun.
We love to be on the move, for sure.
If you're on the fence and you're not sure, I rent an RV and try it out and see if you like the whole moving, the whole house moving thing. And
a big question that we always get too is, when are you guys going to stop traveling? So that'd be another question in our lightning round here. Sandy, when are you going to stop traveling?
Never.
Never?
Never.
Never, ever?
A lot of people that were full-time RVers went back into a house, and I look at it and I go, I don't care how big the house is, how bougie the house is, how many whatever, not for me. Like, I would rather be traveling around the world. I would even go on a cruise ship that travels for like a year around the world. I would do anything that's traveling because it feeds me. Like, I think it feeds me. The new people, the new experiences, it's so exciting, and it's everything. It's actually everything. Yeah. I absolutely love it.
Feeds the soul, for sure.
And there's just with anything, every experience is not going to be amazing, and I know that all too well, and I'm okay with that. Like, I think I like the ups and downs, because when you have the downs, you really appreciate the ups. And for our kids, the same thing. Like, we're going to start traveling international again. And they're in such a different stage of life than when we did earlier, because they were so much younger. Things have changed so much for them, where, they're 11, 13, and 15, like young adults now. They were babies back then, like super young. Yeah. Ryder was 3 when we started traveling around the world. And so he could hardly even speak. Like, people couldn't even understand him. And so now he's like this little young man, and they love it. They love embracing new environments. And they're all about adventure. Like, we have 3 awesome kids.
We raised some good ones
that absolutely love adventure as much as us. And so, yeah, it's just going to be a blast. A new stage in life, for sure.
So, this is our first ever podcast.
How did we do?
How do you feel about it?
I feel good.
I feel pretty good.
I feel good.
I feel really good.
I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to have enough to talk about, but I feel like...
Yeah, well, we got to have more to talk about, because we have a few more podcasts to do here.
And I think this is what we love. We love talking about this travel life. We love helping people. We love giving information that can help other people. So for us,
I think showing people there's a different way to live is huge also.
Yeah.
And showing people, we have a limited amount of time with our kids. Let's get out there and enjoy as much time as we can with them. Let's create some crazy memories. Let's do some really fun stuff, so that when they do leave us, they're like, you know what? My parents did a pretty cool job.
I think one of the coolest things, since we have documented so many adventures, is we will watch our YouTube channel. We'll just lay around and watch our YouTube channel from like years back. And to see them small.
I get emotional all the time.
Even for them, they're like, oh, look at me, And they were doing really cool things, like hiking mountains in the Philippines and Thailand, and doing all these cool things. But the thing about this too,
I always think about this, is like, someday they're going to sit down with their kids and be like, Mom, Dad, how'd you guys grow up? And our kids will show their kids, our grandkids. They'll be like, look at what we used to do. And they'll be like, damn.
It's pretty cool, yeah.
That's going to be super cool. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Stay tuned for the next one. We're going to get into how we went international for over a year. So not only do we do RV life around the United States, but we also lived in Southeast Asia for over a year, which we absolutely love. We have so many amazing stories and memories and experiences over there. So we're going to share that with you next time. time. Thank you so much for being here for our first ever podcast. We're super excited. We got it out. We did it. We got to keep the momentum going. And I can say on this one, we definitely
Tried something new.
Send us
All right.
some comments, ask questions down below. Let us know how we did.
We are
Let
here
us know
to help.
more topics for other podcasts that we could do. And this is going to be a great journey, guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And we're out.